Madam Speaker, my distinguished colleagues, I respectfully vote no to House Bill number 4058 or the 2026 General Appropriations Bill. We are at a crossroads, my distinguished colleagues. Sa makasaysayang pag-ungkat ng bilyones na kinukurakot na pondo na dapat nilalaan sa mamamayang Pilipino, nasaan ang priorities sa mga susunod na itaon? Kung ihahati ang base budget ng bawat ahensya sa dapat na mga benepisyaryo nito, ito po ang resulta, Madam Speaker. Kapag hinati ang buong pondo ng DepEd, lalabas na 90 pesos at 50 centavos lang ang nakalaan sa kada estudyante araw-araw. Samantala, kung hatiin naman ang pondo ng SUCs at CHED sa lahat ng college students ngayon, nasa 100 pesos naman ang nakalaan sa kada estudyante araw-araw. Pero kapag hinati ang buong budget ng PNP, on average, Kapag hinati naman ang buong budget ng PNP, on average 2,522 pesos ang nakalaan sa pulis kada araw. Kung ikukumpara sa AFP, 4,629 pesos kada tao kada araw. Ito ang realidad ng ating budget. Tama ba ang priorities na ito? Klaruhin natin. Kahit may papogi points sa 4% GDP allotment sa education na pinagmamalaki ni Pangulong Marcos Jr., sabit lang ito sa minimum international standards na pag-iiwanan pa rin ang batayang pangailangan ng mga kabataan. Bulok pa rin ang mga pasilidad mula elementarya hanggang kolehiyo na binabayo pa ng mga bagyo, baha at lindol. In the light of the 1 trillion pesos allotted to flood control projects only in the past 3 years, unacceptable na may kulang pa rin sa pagpondo ng karapatan ng kabataan sa edukasyon. Samantala, 738.4 billion pesos po ang budget para sa pasismo, sa confidential and intelligence funds at mga armas at operasyong panunupil sa mga lumalaban, sa korap at mga pahirap na polisiya. Sa bilyones na ito, 9.5 bilyong piso ang nakalaan sa suporta sa NTF-ELCAC, kasama na ang bogus development fund at 200 bilyong piso ang budget sa pension ng military and uniformed personnel. Meanwhile, ang 13.9 billion piso para sa social pension sa mga milyong-milyong naka-waitlist or 1 milyong naka-waitlist na mahirap na lolo at lola na tig 1,000 pesos lang, hindi mahanapan ng fiscal space. 13.9 billion pesos po. Imbes na pondohan ang kalusugan, transportasyon, iba pang serbisyo, puro paayuda at pinapalobo sa pondo para mabihag ng mga politiko ang mga maralitang Pilipino. This is a peak performative budget from a peak performative president. Labas sa mga vlog at PR, ito po ang totoo. Nang tinanong natin diretso kung kaya pa bang madagdagan ang pondo, sabi sa atin, hindi na kaya, wala na raw pera. May pera though, napupunta lang sa pasismo, base militar, gera, bayad utang at pork barrel. This is unacceptable, Madam Speaker. At hindi po ako nag-iisa. Tumitindig po sa likod ko, sa harap din natin, kasama natin mga ligdar estudyante, UP, PUP, PNU, Rizal Technological University,
we have
at
to
iba pa.
remind
And that's
that
why
3 minutes
po,
expired already. Thank you.
that's why po,
Please wrap up.
yes, and that's why po tumitindig po kasama ang kabataan at mamamayan. Kami po na patuloy na tumitindig para sa mas mataas na edukasyon, na pondo at iba pa. We vote no to House Bill 4058.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, next in line, I would like to recognize Representative Sergio Dagook of the APEC Party List.
The Honorable Sergio Dagoc from APEC Party List is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Majority Leader. I voted yes kasi ayaw ko pong magkaroon tayo ng reenacted budget. However, I have strong reservations on the lump sum budget, again authorizing the Department of Budget and Management na magdesisyon kung saan ito gagamitin. Madam Speaker, I understand yung gamit niya pang-emergency dahil hindi naman natin alam kung kailan mangyari iyon. However, if that emergency is intended for social services, pwede naman nating ilagay yung amount na yon sa respective agencies that is executing social services, implementing social services. Bakit kailangan ang magdesisyon ang Department of Budget and Management or kung sino-sino? Malinaw naman sa ating saligang batas na tayo po ang may power of the purse. Tayo po dapat ang nagdesisyon magkano yung mapunta sa Office of Civil Defense, magkano yung mapunta sa Department of Health at sa ibang mga agency na gumagawa po ng mga ganon bagay. So, on the other hand, I agree also with a representative ko, although I appreciate nung dinagdagan natin yung pondo ng edukasyon, pero mukhang mayroon pa rin tayong pagkukulang. Ako po ay working student, Madam Speaker, mula sa simula hanggang nakatapos ako, nagla-lineman ako. Kaya ganon ko po kamahal ang edukasyon. Without it, hindi po ako makarating dito. Kaya naliliitan pa rin po ako sa pundo ng edukasyon from basic to higher education. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, next to explain her vote is Representative Laila M. De Lima of the ML Party List.
The Honorable Laila M. De Lima from the ML Party List is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Speaker. Here's why I'm voting no. But let me first thank the Committee on Appropriations under the leadership of Chair Mika Swansing for their hard work during this very tedious budget process. Nagpapasalamat tayo sa pagtanggap ng komite sa ating amendment na bawasan ng budget ng Office of the Vice President dahil sa hayagang pambabastos ng mismong Vice Presidente sa Kongreso at sa ating konstitusyon sa paulit-ulit ng hindi pagsipot sa plenaryo para ipaliwanag at pagtanggol ang budget ng OVP. Nagpapasalamat din po tayo sa mga dagdag na pondo sa Interagency Council Against Trafficking or IACAT under the DOJ, sa mangrove planting and mangrove rehabilitation or protection under the DNR, sa pag-retain sa budget ng 4Ps sa additional budget for resettlement housing program at multipurpose community facilities ng DSUD at increase para sa classroom construction ng DepEd. Pero Madam Speaker, sa kabila ng mga ito, mas mabigat pa rin ang mga hindi naging katanggap-tanggap para sa representasyong ito. Humihingi ang judiciary ng 28.31 billion reconsideration, pero ang binigay lang ay 1.46 billion. 5.15% lang po ito. Isang co-equal branch na may napakalaking papel ang hudikatura pero kulang-kulang ang suporta. The judiciary deserves not just respect in words, but support in resources. Also, Madam Speaker, we're also dismayed by the cut in the additional budget for the Commission on Human Rights. Taon-taon na lang underfunded ang CHR. Madam Speaker, wag naman nating kuriputin ang pangangalaga sa ating dignidad at karapatang pantao. Meron pa pong iba pero kulang na po ang oras para pagbanggitin sila isa-isa. Let me just focus please on the unprogrammed appropriations. I firmly believe, Madam Speaker, it's time to stop having unprogrammed appropriations in the national budget. Hindi lang dapat ito i-zero, kundi dapat ay no, wala na dapat unprogrammed funds sa General Appropriations Bill. Unang rason, unprogrammed appropriations have no definite source of financing. Walang tiyak na pagkukunan ng koleksyon ng buwis o utang para dito. Kung wala palang pera ay bakit magbabalak na gumasta? Section 22, Article 7 of our Constitution is clear that the basis of the General Appropriations Bill is the budget of expenditures and sources of financing, including receipts from existing and proposed revenue measures. If there's no definite and identifiable revenue stream, Congress cannot constitutionally authorize such appropriations. Pangalawang rason, the practice of having unprogrammed appropriations is tantamount to undue delegation of legislative power to the executive. Only the legislature has the power to appropriate. In the past, billions have been authorized to be released without adequate congressional scrutiny and sufficient safeguards. Naging pugad tuloy ito ng mga ghost, substandard, and overpriced projects. Also, some UA items came in lump sums with no specificity or itemization, with no prior determination of, say, real projects and actual recipients. Only the executive knows how unprogrammed funds are being used, and we in Congress and the public find out only after the fact. This abdication of the congressional power of the purse must be discontinued. If Article 6, Section 25, Paragraph 6 of the Constitution prohibits any law allowing transfer appropriations, then it is constitutionally abhorrent, likewise, to grant the executive
Please wrap
the
up.
unbridled discretion to appropriate funds on its own. I know that my time has expired, but I have very important reasons why I'm opposing this and why I'm stressing about this on program appropriations. Let me have just 2 more minutes, Madam Speaker. Pangatlong rason, nagiging kumbiniyenteng parkingan ang program appropriations na mga dapat naman ay programado at obligado ng mga gastusin. This practice has created persistent false hopes and mass deception among the affected sectors and agencies. But since my time has expired, therefore, my stand against the unprogrammed appropriations is a constitutional imperative. Wag lang zero, kundi no, UA, go away. For these reasons, this representation votes no to House Bill 4058. Thank you very much.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, next to explain his vote is Representative Jose Manuel Tadeo Chel Diokno of the Akbayan Party List.
The Honorable Jose Manuel Tadeo Chel Diokno from the Akbayan Party List is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and distinguished colleagues. For Akbayan Party List, I vote no the 2026 General Appropriations Bill. We recognize the hard work that went into crafting this measure, but the decision to vote no comes down to the answer to 3 simple but compelling questions. Does the 2026 budget support the future of our youth? Does it uplift the lives of our people? Does it end the culture of corruption? Nakakalungkot man sabihin, Madam Speaker, pero ang sagot sa 3 tanong na ito ay hindi. Una, hindi sapat ang suporta sa ating kabataan, lalo na sa gitna ng lumalalang krisis sa edukasyon. Ayon mismo sa DepEd, kulang tayo ng 165,000 classrooms. Ngunit sa 2026 budget, at most 25,000 classrooms lang ang maaaring maitayo sa susunod na taon. At hindi lang yon. Ayon sa PSA, may 2.2 milyon na kabataang edad 15 hanggang 24 ang hindi nakakapag-aral. Ngunit sa 2026 budget para sa alternative learning system, wala pa sa 200,000 ang matutulungan. 9% lamang po yan ng ating out-of-school youth. Sa madaling salita, the 2026 GAB, sa ilalim nitong GAB ay dehadong-dehado pa rin ang kabataang Pilipino. Hindi rin po maiaangat ng 2026 budget ang buhay ng ating mga kababayan. Napakaliit ng pondo para sa kalusugan, higit 1% lamang ng GDP, samantalang ayon sa World Health Organization ay dapat ito ay nasa 5%. Ramdam na ramdam ng mga Pilipino ang kakulangan dahil kalahati pa rin ng gastos sa pagpapagamot ay galing sa sariling bulsa. Mas malala pa, kulang sa 129 billion ang PhilHealth, kahit malinaw ang batas na dapat sigurado ang pondo para sa mga benepisyo ng mga PhilHealth members. Universal healthcare ang pangako sa taong bayan, pero sa 2026 GAB, mukhang universal hirap pa rin ang ating aabutin. Pero higit sa lahat, sa 2026 budget, tuloy pa rin ang ligaya dahil meron pa rin unprogrammed appropriations. 243 billion pesos na basta lang ipinauubaya sa Executive Department kahit hindi malinaw kung paano ito gagamitin at kung saan ito mapupunta. Imbis na matuto tayo sa mga ghost projects sa nakaraan, hindi pa rin natutuldukan ang korupsyon. That is why I cannot, in conscience, support this budget. Para sa lahat ng mga estudyanteng walang maayos na silid-aralan, para sa lahat ng kabataang hindi nakakapag-aral, para sa lahat ng mga pamilyang hindi makabayad sa ospital, at para sa lahat ng mga taxpayer na nagpupuyos na sa galit dahil nilulustay ng mga tiwaling opisyal ang buwis na galing sa kanilang dugo, luha at pawis, I vote no to the 2026 General Appropriations Bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, next to explain his or her vote is Representative Sarah Jane Alago of Party List Gabriela Women's Party.
The Honorable Sarah Jane Alago is recognized.
Once again, Madam Speaker, we are confronted with a national budget that tells us whose lives matter and whose lives are merely left to survive. The proposed 6.79 trillion national budget for 2026 is being hailed as a budget for recovery. But when you strip away the grand words, the persistence of vague, bloated, and secret funds tells us otherwise. The numbers tells a different story. At least 695 billion remains to be allocated to numerous port-driven programs based on our computation in the Makabayan block. One is the 243.2 billion in unprogrammed appropriations, lump sum funds with no clear details, no clear beneficiaries, and no clear accountability. 10.9 billion pesos for confidential and intelligence funds, 32.6 billion for farm-to-market roads. Billions are still hidden in unprogrammed appropriations, confidential and intelligence funds, farm-to-market roads, and other discretionary infrastructure projects. In other words, before us is a pork feast for the powerful and scraps for the people. Kahit anong palit ng pangalan o forma, pork is pork. No matter how you plate it, it still stinks of corruption. Kaya malinaw na ang budget na ito ay fiesta para sa mga kurakot, habang lumalobo ang pondo para sa mga proyektong walang malinaw na saysay. Patuloy namang pinapabayaan ang mga serbisyong tunay na kailangan ng mamamayan. Farmers and fisherfolk remain abandoned while imports flood our markets. Under the 2026 national budget, there is no sufficient support and production subsidy for the neglected sector that feeds our country. Kung ikukumpara sa dambuhalang budget para sa infrastruktura, napakaliit lamang ng mapupunta para sa lokal na produksyon. Workers continue to bear the brunt of low wages and indecent jobs, while the government allocates its budget to short-term, temporary work programs like TUPAD, which gets a whopping 22 billion compared to 1.26 billion in industry development and micro, small, and medium enterprises. Public healthcare in our country remains unaffordable. Sa halip na maglaan ng sapat na budget para sa pagpapatayo ng mga dagdag na ospital at pagsisiguro na hindi na kailangan pumila ng mga pasyente at mamamayan sa napakahaba para lang makakuha ng guarantee letters mula sa 49.2 billion na medical assistance for indigent and financially incapacitated patients. Shelters for women and children continue to be underfunded. Madam Speaker, this pork-laden budget kills the people's call for genuine agrarian reform and national industrialization. We should be funding food security, not fund secrecy. We should be investing in farmers, fisherfolk, and workers, not in the comfort of the corrupt. We must increase the budget for agriculture. We must strengthen national industrialization, build industries that generate decent jobs, that provide a living wage and reduce dependence on imports. We must raise allocations for health and education, fund shelters and protection services for women and children.
Please wrap up.
Support programs for LGBTQIA+ community, migrants, senior citizens, persons with disabilities, and all marginalized sectors long left behind. This is the kind of budget that builds a nation. Para taon-taon, pag nagpapasa tayo ng budget, tila nagsisilbi lang sa iilan. Dapat ito ay magsilbi sa taong bayan. Funds are treated as political rewards instead of public lifelines. But women will not be silent. The people will not be silent. Ang panawagan ho ng representasyon na ito mula sa Gabriela Women's Party, we stand firm in opposition to all forms of pork barrel programs and insertions. Hindi deserve ng kababaihan at mamamayan ang tira-tira lang habang ang kurakot ay busog na busog sa pera ng taong bayan. Thus, this representation votes a resounding no to this 2026 budget. Maraming salamat, Madam Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, next to explain his vote is Representative Edgar Rice of 2nd District, Caloocan City.
The Honorable Edgar Rice from the 2nd District of Caloocan City is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Buong puso ako naniniwala na malayong maayos ang 2026 General Appropriations Bill kaysa sa mga nakaraang noong 19th Congress na pinagmulan ng galit ng mga mamamayan. Maayos na Bakit nagpalusot pa ng 250 billion na unprogrammed funds? Section 22, Article 7 of the 1987 Constitution, which mandates that the President must submit a budget of expenditures and sources of financing within 30 days of Congress regular session. And the GAA must be based on it. Unprogrammed funds have no definite source of financing. Without a clear revenue basis, Congress cannot constitutionally authorize such appropriations. Unprogrammed funds effectively delegate Congress' exclusive power of the purse to the executive branch. Unprogrammed funds is lump sum in nature, lacking itemization. Article 6, Section 25, Line 6 of the Constitution clearly prohibits any law allowing the transfer of appropriation, much more one that grants the executive discretion to appropriate funds on its own. Congress cannot abdicate its constitutional duty by handling over blank checks disguised as unprogrammed funds. Unprogrammed funds only create illusions that projects might be funded through uncertain savings, vague new revenues, or speculative new loans. These conditions almost never happen. Unprogrammed funds is a convenient escape hatch, a political mirage that misleads agencies and the public. Kung may bagong revenue, may pagkakataon ng bagong mga utang, pwede naman magkaroon ng supplemental budget. From the 2023, 2024, and 2025 GAA, program funds were transferred into unprogrammed allocations, resulting in the funding of legitimate program projects, rechanneling it into pet projects of legislators, and ended out as ghost projects, substandard projects, and unnecessary expenditures. And program funds has been used not to serve the people, but to manipulate public funds. It's time to end this deception. Kung talagang para sa bayan ng budget, alisin na ang unprogrammed funds. Kongreso ang may kapangyarihan sa paggastos, huwag nating ipasa sa Executive Department ang kapangyarihan yan. Salamat po. I vote no.
Please, Majority Leader.